What do you want to talk about first? Do you want to talk about the four turtles, or the vehicles, or the other characters that you've got?
Oh, anything is good. I have all the first 9 figures and the Shellraiser.
Sure. Well, since you ran all the way to get it, let's talk about the Shellraiser first. Go on, give us a mini review of that.
The Shellraiser is, this time around, the party wagon. Rather than a repurposed news van, it's a repurposed, decommissioned subway car. Come here, you.
God, how heavy is it?
It's about the size of the party wagon, maybe a little bigger to fit the more variously scaled figures, which we'll talk about. But it is what's great is it's just action featured enough. Some things get too overladen with action features to the point where you can't do anything else with them. But it has a firing cannon up top, and it has a pop open side door. You press a thing on the top, and the door swings out. The idea
just the hair to the side. That's all right.
It has a parallel bar that you have one of the turtles hold on to. You put them on. Let's take it from the start. You put one of the turtles by their hands on the bar, and then you can do it either that way, or you can wind it up first and lock it and put one of the turtles on, and then you close it into the van, and it clicks shut, and then you close the door. Then, when you press the button, the door flips open, with the bar pops out, and the turtle who's on it is spinning. Like he's doing spin kicks. You can use nail shredder with it.
Almost like he's doing gymnastics.
Yeah, exactly. It's like parallel bars. It's so totally cool. You can fit tons of figures in here. I mean, like, this could easily be just like the storage container for kids. You can I've at one point stuffed like 8 characters in here. It's so much room inside. Up top there's a firing missile launcher, but it's a pretty run of the mill thing, nothing too special. There are decals again, which I drink too much coffee and too much candy to very accurately put stickers on, so it takes me a long while to do that. But there's also a door that opens up front, and it's also a great display piece for your turtles, because there's so many places you can place them on. There's bars they can hold on to. There's a hole up top where you can place one of them behind the cannon. There's pegs on the opening front door where you can balance one of them. I mean, it's going to be fun for kids, and it's going to be a great display piece for collectors. There's no going wrong with this thing. At $30 by today's standards, that's actually a pretty darn good deal.
Wow, that is good, actually. I thought it was going to be more than that. I mean, how detailed is it? I mean, sculpt-wise.
Oh, very.
I mean, has it got like little scuffs and stuff like it's been really used? And
a little above, like it. The metal on it looks kind of corroded. I'll put some pictures up of that. A lot of the other details are in the stickers, though. There's a lot of graffiti on it, as you might see on a subway car. But yeah, you can see corroded metal. The thing's plastic, by the way. It's pretty much all solid plastic. And it's mostly kind of a bronze in color with old metallic silver detailing, and it's grand. I definitely recommend it.
Or is there anything about it you don't like, though?
I guess if you want to nitpick, there's not really a control area. Like, the front of it just opens. There's not like a steering wheel or stick or anything. Again, maybe they'll explain this somehow. But as it is, you just kind of have to shut the door and pretend they're driving, I guess.
Okay.
No, they've nailed it.
Cool. I mean, did you get any other vehicles, or is it just the Shellraiser you've got so far?
Just the Shellraiser so far, but there's one of the motorcycles that I'm probably going to grab next time I'm out. It's only like $1 more than one of the figures, so that's great. The figures, were about $9 each. At Target, one of the motorcycles and the skateboard are like $10 each. So
You're going to get the skateboard?
I think so. Knowing me, I'll end up, getting all of it.
Should we talk about the 4 main turtle figures?
Yeah, sure. Let's see. Those were obviously the first things I got because, you got to have the turtles, right?
Yeah.
This time around, we have lots of people have reviewed them by now, so this is kind of even I've already reviewed them by now. But just a quick crash course. They're all different sizes this time around to reflect their sizes on the show. Mikey's the baby brother. He's the shortest of the bunch, while Don is the tallest and lankiest.
Typical nerd.
Yeah, it's funny. He's actually kind of the palest green. So I was just kind of like, okay, I get it. He's, he sits in the dark sewer all day on his computer while Raph is out training in the sun. So he's kind of the tannest green. But yeah, that's another size thing. Raphael is a little wider than the others, kind of bulkier, just ever so slightly. And they're also, this time around, they're all super articulate. I shouldn't say super articulate, but they're not like Marvel Legends or anything like that. But they have lots of articulation as opposed to just the 7 points that was the standard on the vintage line. You can get lots of poses out of these guys. Again, they're all unique body parts. There's no reused parts between them at all. Everything
that's pretty cool in this day and age when everything's about reuse. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, like Ghostbusters.
To me, this demonstrates the vitality of media support. This would not be as affordable as it is without this cartoon that Nickelodeon is 100% behind.
Well, that's the
I
thing.
do love the little... Sorry.
I was going to say, that's the thing. I mean, the cartoon's not even out yet. They're that confident that they're willing to put all the money behind it to do individual sculpts for each turtle. Yeah. I think that says a lot. I mean, that kind of confidence will show, and I think that's what people are going to be impressed by as well. Yeah,
definitely. I can't wait for you guys to get your hands on these because you are going to love them. You are going to love them.
What were you going to say before I cut you off, Chris?
I was going to say, whenever you were saying about the different scales and stuff, I do love the fact that each of them have different wear and tear on their body. Like Raphael has a big chunk out of the front of his shell.
Yep.
And and there's different scars and stuff on them. It looks like they've actually been in battles, and some of them have come up worse for wear, which would be interesting to see that if we see that in the cartoon, we see how they actually became so battle worn, so to speak.
Now that is a key difference, is the big difference between these and the cartoon are the heads. Because when Chris reminded me of the battle damage, I know a big point of contention for a lot of people has been Donatello's either gap or missing tooth.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
And so Don has his mouth completely closed, first of all, so that tooth won't be there to bother people, which it doesn't bother me. But
why does it bother people, though? I didn't know this. Are people that bothered about it?
Well, I mean, there are also some people still hung up on the 3 toes.
I was just about to say that.
But no, actually, the heads don't look cartoon accurate. They actually look more like the IDW comics. the heads. You know, kind of how the original 87 toys didn't, or I guess 88 toy, whatever, I can do math good. How the original line toys didn't look anything like the cartoon either. They looked like the Mirage comic.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that all over again. The cartoon toys have the faces of the current comic book.
Whereas those talking ones seem to follow facially they seem to follow the new cartoon from what I've seen.
Yeah, those are much more cartoon accurate. They're actually voice accurate too. I think I read that Rob Paulson said they recorded the voices for those.
I mean, they've kind of, like when you look at the cartoon pictures, you've got Mikey who's big and they're putting silly faces with, and then you look at the figures and they're very Mikey's got like a half grin on his face, but I mean everyone else is pretty like, yeah. I mean that surprised me. I mean, what do you think? Do you like it like that, or would you prefer them to be more cartoon accurate? Even with the pupils in, would you prefer that?
I'm fine with this the way they are. Like you said, if we want cartoon accurate, there'll be other ways to get those, like the talking ones, or I would bet if cartoon accuracy seems to be enough of a demand, we'll get them. But I'm really happy with the way we got them, though. And of course, buy cartoon accurate faced ones, but the body types seem to be accurate, so. Oh, that works for me.
A weird question. Do the heads come off and are they interchangeable?
That is a good question. Wow. Well, the heads come off.
I hope they're meant to now, otherwise I've just broken one of your toys.
Oh, it's broken!
What, the Shell Podcast is not at liberty to pay for any Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle breakages, figure-wise.
The heads come off. They do not seem to fit one another. Raphael... Let's just try it. Raphael's head, the hole underneath his head is too small to go over Leo's neck, and nice. Leo's head just kind of hangs on Raph's neck peg. So, yeah, I would imagine they did not have that in mind.
Well, I only ask because obviously we've been used to like MOTC having like interchangeable heads, things like that. Yeah. I just wanted to see if Playmates were doing the same kind of thing. I mean, to be honest, it's probably to be expected, seeing as they're each individual sculpts and body sizes, so they wouldn't, and different colours as well, so they probably wouldn't really work anyway. But
yeah,
I was curious.
Kind of goofy looking.
I mean, I've seen in different reviews all over the shop now that they all come with like the spindle full of weaponry, like the old ones used to come with.
Sure
which
do.
I'm really, really excited about. I mean, is there any weapon on any of the figures that you really like? The additional ones.
They're all cool enough. One, let's see. Remember how at first it looked like Michelangelo and Donatello were coming with bladed versions of their weapons?
Yeah.
Well, they did get them on these spindles. They have something resembling Michelangelo's bladed nunchucku. I unfortunately can't name the thing right now. I don't have my cards in front of me. I don't speak Japanese at all, really. I can just so it took me a long while to memorize how to pronounce those words, but I didn't memorize the words themselves. But yeah, they come with the bladed versions of their main weapons. Don and Mike do, whereas Raph and Leo have blades anyways. But that's actually a good segue to April O'Neil, because I really love the weapons she comes with on her.
Oh, right, okay.
On her spindle thing.
Because I mean, I've not actually seen any reviews for April yet. So what does she?
I put one up.
No, yeah, I was going to say that how happy with her were you? How happy were you with the figure because of the size of her? With her being such a skinny looking version of April.
Well, let's see. I put up a review of her. She I'm okay with her size because she's supposed to be a teenager this time around.
Right.
So I mean, she looks great next to the turtles. Because she's their size. I like her reinvention. I know a lot of people don't, but I guess it's just the nature of people and collectors, particularly, is a fear of change. And I'm guilty of that in a lot of places too. But anyone who doesn't give her a chance, I think they're missing out on a decent figure. She doesn't have the articulation that the turtles have. She still has a good bit, but one of the things I've experienced with all the figures except for the turtles so far is that they're all stiff-legged.
Right. Okay.
I figure they've got to give up that, this or that across the board to make the turtles as great as they are.
But that seems like a very strange thing to do in this day of age, not to have, at least not to bend at the knees, I mean,
yeah.
That's a very odd decision to make. I mean, do you think? I mean, because I'm looking at April now, and the only reason I can see for her is because she's quite spindly legged. She's so slight. There might be standing issues, but then again, she's got quite large feet. But
yeah, these large feet are handy.
I mean,
I do like the fact that the T-shirt that they give her was yellow.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just watching your review now, Suine, with the volume turned down.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the best way to watch it.
I don't want stereo, Suine, to be honest.
You don't want me in mono, man. But,
I mean, for instance, Shredder, that surprised me that his legs aren't articulated. I mean, do you find that? How do you feel about that?
I would have liked knee articulation. I would have given up a point, elsewhere. Like, April is articulate at her shoulders and wrists, but not at the elbow. She's also articulate at the waist. I probably would have given up. I would have considered giving up one of the, either the wrists or the waist. But at the same time, not having jointed knees does help with standing, I find. Provided they don't have dynamic feet. In this case, she has flat feet, which are pretty big, so standing her up is a cinch.
It's really odd where they've actually put the, where you move her legs, like at the very top of her leg, like in the jean cut.
Oh, yeah, right at the hip, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of strange.
Looking at her weapons rack, she comes with a tonfa and various what looks like various wooden weaponry, but she looks like she has eggs. What are those?
Those are little smoke grenades.
Fast forward to that.
Right. Okay.
They're little smoke grenades, throws them and disappears.
Okay. I just wondered, why does April have eggs? Is there something?
I love that shot you've done, Suine, of her with her kind of hands behind her back.
Oh yeah.
That was awesome looking.
It's a real easy pose to do. Her hands are almost made to do it. It's really pretty. It's fun. I think she's cute. She's a real fun, cute character. I don't mean cute like, hey, I want to ask her out, because, dude, I'm 30. No, I mean cute as in just adore kawaii, the Japanese idea.
Yeah.
I think it's cool.
I'm going to ask you about Shredder, because he's the one I've been looking forward to. What do you think? You're
in for a treat, man. Well, provided you can get past that stiff-leggedness. He is intimidating. He's got huge Mondo armor. And it doesn't interfere with his mobility. It seems his shoulder pieces are inserted into his trapezius muscles.
Right.
So and they're kind of hinged, so you can move his arm, all over the place, and it just kind of lifts them up. They don't get in the way or anything. He has just white eyes. It'll be interesting to see how that exactly goes on the cartoon. But yeah, just white eyes. the thing is, they don't stand out quite as well against his white skin. But we still got a pretty awesome figure here. Like he comes with a sword and a pair of shuriken, and I don't know if it's by design or not, but his sword hilt can actually kind of fit into one of the slots on his armor, so it looks kind of like an extension. I don't know if that's by design or if, oh hey, awesome, that just worked out for you. It's pretty cool looking.
Pixel Dan, I think it was him. He mentioned that it would have looked better with a cloak. I mean, what do you think?
I could see that. It might have looked better with a cloak. Yeah, I can definitely see the argument for it, and I definitely wouldn't have turned it down. I'm trying to remember. Does he have a cloak on the new cartoon?
I was just thinking that myself. Actually, I'm trying to find a picture of it, an untoy version, you see. But
yeah, I mean, I'd definitely accept it, but I think he's okay without it. Yeah, I think he's cool either way.
Are the wrist gauntlets and the leg gauntlets now? They from the photos they look like they're removable, are they? Because they just look like they've been slotted on like rings.
Well, if they can be removed, it's not by intention. Like the shin guards, they look to be like two halves glued together. Possibly pegged together and glued together, because they're not coming undone. At least not on mine anyway.
Oh, please don't break yours now. I don't want to do that one too.
You owe me a raft now. The wrist gauntlets look like they look like they might. I kind of don't want to chance it, but you can definitely more easily, at least on mine, I can more easily see the divide. Now that I think about it, I kind of doubt they're intended for removal. So, I mean, skilled hands, unlike mine, could probably find a way to remove them safely and put them back together intact. But that's better than me. I'm kind of clumsy with those kinds of things.
Well, I'm just looking online at him now from the cartoon, and he does have a cape.
Ah, okay.
So maybe another version of Shredder will come out with a cape, probably. Or a bigger version.
Or can, rob one of my wife's DC figures?
I mean, I've seen a couple of people have put the original Turtles Shred, the original 80s Shredder, sorry. They put his cape on the new one, and it actually looks pretty cool, so...
Well, that's cool.
Well, what about you, Chris? Who do you want to talk about next?
Krang.
Well, the Krang is really cool. There's gonna, he's obviously an army builder this time around. I'm undecided how much army building I'm gonna do. Like, I would love to own an army of Krangs and foot soldiers, but money is an object. So. Yes. And I guess it depends on how much I could justify dropping $9 for the same figure repeatedly. The Krang, he's sadly the one who got skimped on the most, I think, for this first wave. But if you were going to skimp on one, I guess this is the one to do it. The way I kind of think of it is the Krang piece itself, the little brain monster, is a very expensive $9 pencil top that comes with a big robot accessory. Because the Krang droid body, it has 5 points of articulation, which is like pretty abysmal by today's standards. And we thought this was over, but we have the return of dynamically arched feet.
Yeah.
Which makes standing a total pain. But, if this one's designed more with kids playing in mind, that's cool. I mean, I still find him playable enough. So it depends on what you're going to do with him ultimately. That determines whether or not you think he's worth it.
I mean, from what I've seen of him, he looks like you used to get those finger puppet monsters, those jelly-like ones.
Yep.
Is he like that kind of material?
Oh, exactly. Yeah, he's not like exactly like a what are they? Wacky wall walkers? Do you remember those?
I've never actually heard of them.
Oh, there were these like little rubber monsters. You could throw them and they'd stick to the wall and slowly climb down.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
I got one out of a cereal box when I was like 4 or something, and so they're not sticky like that, but yeah, they're kind of like little monster things that you could. It's got a hole in the underside where you could almost like pop him on a pencil eraser. I don't know if you had those when.
Oh yeah, we had those. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what it makes me think of as a pencil topper.
I mean, what do you think of the design? Well, the look of the android body. I mean, is it creepy or?
Yeah, it actually is kind of. It's creepy in its blank stare. Yeah, there's just something to be said for that, I guess. It's got just kind of this blank, emotionless. I mean, and of course, why should it have emotions? It's just ultimately a device just to move around the little brain guy. But one thing I'll note is on either side of the abdomen, there's a pair of pegs that look like shoulder peg pieces.
Yes.
And it made me wonder if this was originally going to be a 6-armed robot because the Krang itself has 6 tentacles.
All right, here we go. Now, can those arms that you have on yours be removed and put on those pegs below?
It's the same thing with the heads. The arms pop off just fine, but the pegs are way too small.
Right.
I was going to ask that, obviously we've just discovered that the heads come off the turtles and stuff. Does this pose an idea for maybe down the line that we get like different faces to put on the turtles? Like they'll put them in different poses and that kind of thing. Like obviously there's Donatello that will have a gap in his tooth. Michelangelo will have his tongue sticking out and things like that. Do you think that's maybe an idea that they could explore?
I'd buy those. Yeah, I'd buy those, but I don't know how likely they are because it also depends on who you're listening to or who knows what about what company or whatever. Because didn't Scott Neitlich say like that they'd talked about that for Masters of the Universe, but decided it was too morbid to just sell head packs or something? I thought I heard something.
Just have the head packs on an item of their weapons, like their nunchucks or something like that. So it always looks like head in a pole.
Awesome. I'd buy that for $1.
Should we move on to Splinter?
Sure. Splinter is Splinter. This time around, he only comes with one accessory, and it's his cane, which is a translucent green kind of color. I guess maybe he's powering it up with the. I don't want to insult any cultures by incorrectly pronouncing like the martial arts energy kind of thing. Yeah, that kind of thing. But that's the only accessory he comes with. This time around, his robe is soft plastic instead of cloth. It also does not look like it's intended for removal because I can kind of see a little bit of glue holding it holding up.
Oh, no more naked Splinter.
Yeah, no more. Even though, like, if you lift up a little, it's pretty.
Whoa!
Yeah. This is a PG show. No, he has a.
I thought Dylan was just going to ask if he'd take his dressing gown off and put like a dress on him or something. So
I wondered how long before that came up.
Yeah.
Well. He's got a long pink tail this time around. He also has dynamically arched foot, but standing him isn't very hard because his robe kind of evenly distributes balance, and his tail can also be, tweaked in position to more, balance his center of gravity and such. He's he's stiff-legged. He has a elbow movement, so swiveling elbow movement.
Oh, okay.
But and he's got the long goatee, which I think is cool. My wife thought he was pretty. Like, she really likes the design of his face. I know I've heard some folks say they're not too fond of this incarnation of Splinter because he doesn't.
Yeah, I'm one of them. Sadly.
Oh yeah, like some people have said, I'm assuming it's because he doesn't look enough like a rat, or
yeah.
Yeah. My wife has actually seen rats that look like this, so. Or at least some kind of rodent animal. I don't know. She
terrible thing to say about her husband.
Yeah, I know. Maybe it's time to cut the goatee. I like him well enough. He's probably the one of the. I have a hard time saying it, but one of the lesser interesting figures from this first wave. But I mean, yeah, I have a hard time saying that because I still like him. But
yeah, well, you have to have his Master Splinter.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Gotta get him.
And I think what's left now is the Foot Soldier, isn't it?
Oh yeah, Foot Soldier.
That is an army builder.
Oh yes, indeed. If I had, tons of money to just throw around, I'd already have, 10 of them.
How much are the figures, by the way, Suine?
$9 each.
So that's about $5. Well, that would be a $5. So probably over here they'll be about £7.99, I guess. Going by what?
Over here they'll probably be like $14.99. No, in Ireland.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
The Foot Soldier, they're very basic. Mostly black and gray. They have red headbands with the foot emblem and these kind of like bug insect red eyes. It's kind of they kind of look reminiscent of the movie Foot Soldiers in a lot of ways.
That's not a bad thing.
No, it looks great. They come with a sheath that can stick in the back to hold their 2 swords and a pair of shuriken. Again, stiff-legged, swiveling elbows and now this is where I definitely would have changed something up. They have 3 points of articulation in each arm.
I thought you meant overall then for a moment.
No, they got shoulder, elbow, and wrist in the arm. I would have given up like wrist and given them knee joints or something.
Well, this is the thing. What surprised me so much is, like, if you want the Turtles to fight anything, you've given them villains who can't kick back, or at least not look like they're kicking back. It's a strange design choice, I think.
Yeah, I can't call it, but they you can lay them all bloodily defeated by the Turtles. Lay them on the ground.
Did you get the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive?
Yes, I did.
Now, I've read a couple of negative reviews that it's more of a statue than it is an actual figure. It's not as articulated. I mean, how do you feel about it?
The item in and of itself, it's pretty, it's fun to look at. It is a staction, basically. Mine is still in box. I'm not, leaving it sealed there. I just haven't, unpacked it yet. But it to me, it was kind of a sketchy move on Playmate's part to, they showed the prototype as, articulate and a figure and all that, but then, announced that no, we actually decided to make it non-articulate so it kept the look right of what we were going for, and I don't know, that seems to be a lot of kind of iffiness for a $20 staction. So yeah, I don't know if I would have gone for it if I had known.
Do you think it was good the way, like, is it something to do with it's a light coming up from the sewer that he's standing on, and that's why it's like the color of the section?
That's what I've been told. That it's supposed to be like the light coming up, and that's why they kept it unarticulate, so that the light was at the angle that they wanted it to be at, if that makes sense.
Because I thought it was like meant to be like that the stuff that the army wears to camouflage themselves, that kind of thing. I thought that was what it was, but
no, it's supposed to be a lighting trick, at least from what I'm told. Man.
Yeah. So what I was going to ask you was, who's your favourite of the all 9 figures, and which is your least favourite, if you have to?
Ooh, let's see. Favorite of the 9 figures. Gosh, I'm gonna have to. Okay. I'm gonna subdivide this a little bit, if that's the word I'm looking for. Favorite of the 4 turtle figures would be Leonardo, because of I really like his posing options best with his weapons. It just I get the most out of him in that sense. So of the 4 turtles, he's my favorite figure. Non-turtles, April O'Neil. I really like this figure. And least favorite, I'll probably have to go with. Oh, it's tough.
They won't hurt you if you say one of them,
They might. I'd have to simply because somebody's got to be last place. Probably go with the foot soldier.
Right.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Splinter.
I did actually, yeah.
You know me and animals.
Alright, should we move on to the classics ones?
Sure.
I mean, how excited are you about the classics toys?
They are awesome. I can't wait for you guys to get your hands on these. You're gonna love them. When you get them, what I want you to do, what I didn't think to do, and that's tape yourself opening them.
Okay.
Film yourself opening them. 'Cause I wish I had done that, but I was in a ripping open frenzy,
Like Christmas.
Yep, just went to town on them. If you were at all a fan of the original series, these are your dream figures. For what Masters of the Universe fans got out of that first He-Man, longtime TMNT fans will get out of these turtles. The only people I've heard say they don't like these are people who aren't fans of the 80s turtles anyway. So, these were never going to win them over. But they're amazing in their articulation. I think the box said they have 34 points.
Wow.
Because they're articulate down to toes and fingers.
Yeah.
One thing that really, really, really helped out is the they have an ab crunch swivel, point of articulation at the abs, and it's great because the belt piece is separate. It doesn't go all the way around their waist and shell. It the belt is kind of stuck on the waist, and it goes behind. I'll put pictures up for you, but it kind of goes behind the shell, and then they add the second half of it to the shell itself, so the belt isn't hindering movement.
Oh, okay.
If that makes any kind of sense.
Yeah.
Hard to put in words.
That was one of the things I was thinking about. When they first showed us them, and I just thought, if it goes over any parts, it's going to be a bit tough to get a decent pose out of them.
Yeah, but it's 2 parts, so it's real easy.
Right.
So get good poses out of them. Like I said, down to the one downside I can kind of see an argument for is since they have all articulate fingers holding the weapons takes some positioning.
Right.
Like they don't have, the pre-sculpted hand to hold a sword.
I mean, were any of yours loose?
So you have to kind of work with it a little, but no, I don't have a ridiculously loose joint on any of them, especially not the fingers. Mine hold theirs fine once I get it positioned right.
I mean, the one that I found odd was the toes that were articulated, and I couldn't decide if they were just showing off or they actually had a reason. Do you use the articulated toes a lot, or?
No, I can't really say I do, but I guess that part was kind of just for show.
Look what we can do.
Yeah, exactly. I guess you could, make them do ballet or something.
I wish I could see you doing that.
You also put a weapon in their feet.
Conceivably, I guess you could put a sai or something. But, the katana would probably mess you up pretty bad.
I've read a couple of reviews as well. One of them that's quite stood out for me was Poe Ghostals, because he was saying he was disappointed that the shells were so big. Looking at them, it does come out quite a way compared to, say, the Nickelodeon ones, which are quite flat. What do you think about them?
I think they look fine. They don't bother me. They don't they don't aesthetically bother me. They don't get in the way of movement. The way I like the way I have my Leonardo posed right now is his swords are in his sheaths, and he has his hands back on the handles of them as if he's about to pull them out. Oh, and so they're in a perfect position for that. So I've got no complaints about the sheaths, or the shells rather.
Cool. Is there anything you're not happy with altogether with all the figures?
Largely, I'm gonna have to say the same thing everybody says, and that's poor Donatello's dinged up eyes. Yeah, there's in case I'm sure most people know, but there's a big paint error with Donatello's eyes where he's, kind of looks like he's been hit on the head really hard and he's trying to, gather his thoughts or something. This would be forgivable for Michelangelo. But
Donatello's meant to be the smart one.
Exactly. Another cool thing I forgot to mention that I really like is Michelangelo has actual chains for his nunchaku.
Cool.
So, no more, because the first Michelangelo, those nunchucks could, break under stress pretty easily if you weren't careful. But got these nice little metal chains now.
Cool. I'm gonna guess it's Leonardo, but who is your favorite?
Oh, of these, it's a little harder to tell because there's they use so much of the same parts. They use so many, there's more part reuse here. But I would probably, Leo is probably the sentimental favorite toy because he's the one I started with. He's the one who kicked all this off. His hysteria.
Would you have preferred a more now when I say cartoon accurate, because they are pretty cartoon accurate look wise, but cartoon accurate emotion wise look, rather than going for they almost look like they're emulating the original toy, like expressions, but with a animated look. Would you have preferred that?
Maybe on. I kind of would have preferred a goofier happy face on Michelangelo. Battle ready faces on Raph and Don I'm fine with. Or I'm sorry, Raph and Leo I'm fine with. I also wouldn't have minded kind of an inquisitive look on Donatello's face, or kind of a lost in thought look or something like that, since it's the smart one. But I guess can't always get what you want, I guess.
No.